Okay, we are picking up from right where we left on card number 3, property types. So congruent sides, you make one line on the top, one line on the bottom. That shows that these two are congruent. Then 2 lines on the left and 2 lines on the right, showing that those two are congruent. These little arrows show that they're parallel. The little lines show that they're congruent. The next one, lines of symmetry, if you can cut it and make a mirror, if you can cut the shape and divide it into 2 parts that are mirror images, then that's a line of symmetry. So if I would cut it, if I would cut it right here, those two, that is a reflection on each side if I would have cut it perfectly. So that is a line of symmetry. This would also be a line of symmetry, kind of like the hamburger hot dog fold kind of thing. So this would also be a line of symmetry. My diagonals, relationship between diagonals. So I know there's a lot of lines on this thing. I'm going to try to do diagonals in yellow. So with one of your colored pencils, draw a line connecting corner to corner. Get rid of this here. Okay, so from corner to corner, I'm going to go from right here to right here. That is a diagonal of this rectangle. And look, it cut it. If this would fold over, it cut it into a right triangle, top and bottom, that would be congruent. It cut it into 2 congruent right triangles. This is my other diagonal. From corner to corner going this way, they're diagonal lines. And it did the same thing, cut it into 2 congruent right triangles. These two bisect each other. So bisecting diagonals for this, lines of symmetry, again, are just cuts it into 2 parts that are mirror images of each other. So I know there's a ton of marking on that shape, but that's what every part means here. And to show that these are equal, we could put 3, because we put 2 on the side, so we could put 3 lines here on each one of these to show that each one of these is equal. Okay, we're going to move on to card number 4. Card number 4 is kind of more about what we just did. So diagonals, bisecting, and symmetry. Again, your initials, unit 8, just in case you lose them. On the back, wow. On the back of this one, get there eventually. Okay, is right here. Diagonals are lines that connect 2 corners, but they're not a side. So you just want to connect 2 corners. So please draw a rectangle on the bottom and a trapezoid. This is a trapezoid over here. So draw a rectangle and a trapezoid. I think of a trapezoid, we'll do that later, but kind of like a triangle with the head cut off. So I'm going to do this in red. Diagonal. Just do as good as you can do. That's all I'm doing. Diagonal. Because it connects the corners. It's not a side, it's just a line through. Here, diagonal, diagonal. Cut it into parts. Bisect divides into 2 equal parts. So the diagonal here does bisect. These look like they are congruent right triangles. This one is a little bit harder to tell. Looks like it's going to be pretty close if it divides it into 2 equal parts. That's the bisect vocabulary word. Symmetry divides into parts that are mirror images of each other. So I'm going to go back on these shapes and just look if they have symmetry. If I cut right here, yes, that's symmetry, right? That's a mirror image on both sides. It would flip a reflection into that side. Same with this. If I would cut it right here, that would be a reflection on this side. This one, however, if I'm going to cut it right here, no, that does not have symmetry, right? It does not fold, it does not reflect evenly. Same thing here. When I cut it here, that works out, right? Because this is going to be a reflection into this, so it just doesn't work out on top and bottom. So that is the diagonals, bisect, and symmetry card.